In this video, I'll show you how to solve this rational applications problem. Working together, it takes Sam, Jenna, and Max 2 hours to paint one room. When Sam works alone, he can paint one room in 6 hours. When Jenna works alone, she can paint one room in 4 hours. Determine how long it would take Max to paint one room on his own. So first, let's underline our important information. Working together, it takes Sam, Jenna, and Max 2 hours to paint one room. When Sam works alone, he can paint one room in 6 hours. When Jenna works alone, she can paint one room in 4 hours. And then our question, determine how long it would take Max to paint one room on his own. Now, this problem is quite simple once you've got, just an idea of what you should write. So, basically, what you have to do is, if you're given working together and how long it takes them, and you're trying to find how long it would take an individual person, you would set up the problem like this. So, let's just say hypothetically, we're just referring to this problem. You would write it like this. So we'd go 1 over, let's take Sam, 1 over number of hours Sam takes, plus 1 over number of hours Jenna takes. And then you do plus 1 over number of hours Max takes is equal to just how long 1 over number of hours taken working together. So in this type of problem, you're always given how long it takes together and how long it takes them individually. Sometimes you have to find how long they take it together. Sometimes you have to find how long an individual just by himself takes. So just what I've set here is basically just a ground line of what you need to know in order to set up your problem. So just remember, you're putting 1 over everything, because that'll come in handy later. It'll be an easier way of solving. Now, our next step is to simply plug into this problem. Now we have 1 over number of hours Sam takes. How long did Sam take? He takes 6 hours, so 1 over 6, plus 1 over number of hours that Jenny takes. That would be 4 hours, plus number of hours Max takes. Now, remember, we're not given how long Max takes, so we'll simply put this as x. And that would be equal to 1 over how long they work together. And that takes 2 hours total, so 1 over 2. Now, what's the next step in this problem? Well, our next step is you must find an LCM of the denominators. So you have to find an LCM for the denominators. So what is the what's the smallest number that is divisible by all 3 of the numbers, 6, 4, and 2? Now, it can't be 6, because 4, it can't be 7, can't be 8, can't be 9, and can't be 10, can't be 11, but it can be 12. 12 can go, 6 can go into 12, 4 can go into 12, and 2 can go into 12. So our least common multiple, LCM, is 12. That's very important, because now what we're going to do from here is, we're going to set this up like this. So now that we've got our LCM, go ahead and write it up top here. So 12, 12, 12, 12. Now what you're going to do from here is you're basically just going to cancel out your denominator from 12, and then whatever is left over, whatever multiple is left over, you're going to multiply that into the numerator. And I'll just show you. So we have 12 and 6. So we'll do 1 over 6 first. So now we have 12 up top. So this 12 can get canceled. 6 can get canceled. And what's 12 divided by 6? 12 by 6 equals 2. So that means we are now going times 2. Next, 12 and 4 get canceled. What's 12 divided by 4? That would be 3. So now we're going times 3. Next, we have divided by. Now, 1 second. So in this scenario, what we have to do is, all we can do is simply get rid of the denominator. And you can't get rid of anything on this 12, so you're simply just going to put it down here. So basically, on this one, you're basically just multiplying by 12. And you're getting rid of that x. That x is now gone. Times 12. And finally, we have times, get rid of that 12, get rid of the 2. 12 by 2 equals 6 times 6. Now let's go. Here's one really tricky part that you can mess up with this. Here's a really tricky part, and you have to remember this. This may look like 1 times 2. That'll be 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 12 is 12. 1 times 6 is 6. But here, you can't write that like that. What you have to do is you take this 2 here. So we got 1 times 2 here. So we got 1 times 2, but instead of just putting a 2 whole number, what we're going to do is, instead of 1 times 2, we're going to go 2x. So we're just going to add on that x here. So we're just going to add on an x to each of these. But we're not going to add on an x here into this middle one, and I'll explain. So 2x, and then 1 times 3 is 3, so plus 3x plus. Now here's this part. You can't add on an x to the one that was divided by x. You have to leave that as a whole number. So 1 times 12 is 12, equal to 1 times 6 is 6, and add on that x. So see how 1 over x no longer has an x over here? That is because we're basically just going to get rid of that x and then add on x's to the rest of the 3 that were divided normally. And that way we can set ourselves up to solve it. And now what we can do is we can go 5x plus 12 equals 6x minus 5, isolate the variable. 12 equals x. And just write this out, x equals 12. Boom. X equals 12 is our final answer. So Max would take 12 hours to paint a room on his own. 12 hours. Now to reiterate one more time. So we would start off by going 1 over x. So number of hours that Sam takes, number of hours that Jenna takes, number of hours that Max takes, equals number of hours taken working together. This would be your formula. So if you just remember this, then you'll be good to go. Next, we have, we will go ahead and plug that in, and then we go cancel out. We find our LCM, and then we can cancel out the denominator accordingly. And then whatever's left over, we multiply into the numerator. And then once you've done that, you add an x onto every single. When you do this step, you have to add on an x to every single fraction that had a whole number at the bottom, or just a normal real number at the bottom. And the fraction that had an x, either that's an individual's or the whole, you take off the x from there, and you leave that as a whole number. So that would be the only tricky step that you need to make sure to remember. So I just remember it's like a flip. So instead of having the x on this one, you just flip it. So everything else gets the x, and this one gets the normal number. So now, and then you can just simplify 2x plus 3x plus 12 equals 6x, so 5x plus 12 equals 6x. Isolate the variable, 12 equals x, x equals 12. And then remember to put on that final label at the end, so x equals 12 hours. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch out for future videos. Thank you.